The early months of 1944 were merely successive groups of weeks called by recognizable calendar names. Unreality was approaching. There was going to be a move. None of us quite knew when or where, although in due course the villagers were able to tell us exactly when. They told us about a week before the secret movement orders came through. Meanwhile, the old names on the calendar remained, like conventional signs on a strange map. Soon there was built within the crumbling walls of our grounds a wooden replica of a landing craft assault. It was built in order that every platoon in the battalion might practice leaping off it onto imaginary beaches in the minimum number of seconds. And there it stood, between A Company huts and the dining halls, a sort of Trojan horse that carried us on our journeys over imaginary seas and landed us on shadowy coastlines somewhere beyond the unreality ahead. While at BHQ, the large form of Bob Wilson, Motor Transport Technical Sergeant, was bent with massive thoroughness day by day to the task of ensuring everything the battalion possessed that moved on wheels could be driven through salt water for as long as the driver kept his neck above the surface. Then, fast upon us came the end of all leave, the censorship of mail, and a brigade dress rehearsal for the divisional commander's inspection and address to the troops. This last was exhaustive, and when 2 or 3 were gathered together over a naffy tea counter was frankly regarded as bull. A few days later, the Lowland Brigade were marching on parade in a pleasant park to the familiar lilt of Pibroch of Donaldoo, the gathering of the clans. Until an unreasonable hour the night before, the atmosphere in billets had been thick with oaths and blanco. Never had quite such intensive bull been demanded, but the outraged jock consoled himself with the reflection that it was their last blanking chance. The brigade were to be drawn up in 3 sides of a square. The Royals, first of foot, forming the right flank battalion, the Fusiliers, the centre battalion, with the massed pipes and drums in the rear of them, and we, the left flank battalion. In the centre of the square stood a jeep, and upon its bonnet on a stand was a microphone. After the inspection, ranks were to be broken, and all were to gather round this vehicle and listen to the address. Facing the open side of the square, across a small road that led to the parade ground, rose a whitewashed flagstaff with the brigade pennant crowning the proceedings at the top. Suddenly, when the battalions were marching onto the parade, a rumour had issued out of the ground and was among us. Suddenly, it was not the divisional commander, after all, who was going to inspect. Rapidly the word spread round, and as soon as the parade was drawn up, the brigadier reached for the microphone on the jeep and made an announcement. The rumour was confirmed. There was a stir. The time for the expected arrival came and went. Half an hour passed. It was a crisp, sunny March afternoon with a scent of spring behind it, and everything was very still. The assembled ranks in bonnets, tam-o'-shanters, with their gleaming cap badges and clean, sharply pressed and sun-splashed battle dresses, waited. Some curious, some cynical, others still muttering about bull, or a coarser word. At length there came into view, down the road, out of the surrounding trees, a lone dispatch rider wearing vast driving gauntlets, blancoed a dazzling white, and belt to match. From his handlebars flew the large black-and-white check flag, heralding the arrival of a very important person. A short distance behind him came 2 more outriders, abreast, and then, at a discreet interval, there followed a large black car, flying the Union Jack. Behind this there came the divisional commander's car, another car flying the corps commander's flag, then a carload of pressmen and cameramen peculiarly out of place, and finally a jeep full of huge, immaculate military police. At a sedate pace, the small convoy crunched to the flagstaff and stopped. Solitary in the silence came the brigadier's voice calling the brigade to attention as car doors slammed. Then the slope arms, and a pause of deepest silence, and then the high, lone voice of the brigadier again. "General salute! Present! Arms!" 3 measured movements from 3,000 men, and to set the seal on it, the right hand of every officer snapping to his balmoral on the last movement of the rifles. All at once the pipes and drums broke into the first four bars of Scotland the Brave, breaking off on the split second at a final thump from the big drums that cast the parade back with a jolt into a deep silence.